Man, this Arsenal team really knows how to make us sweat. Arsenal travelled away to Selhurst Park and secured a 1-0 victory, despite going down to 10 men halfway through the second half. We now have 2 wins from 2 games in the Premier League. Very important 3 points that we picked up. Let's talk about starting 11. We had Partey at right back. It was that same back line that we saw against Nottingham Forest, despite bar obviously Timber, who's been injured now. So we had Tomiyasu filling that left back, Saliba, Ben White and Partey as the back line. I thought it was quite interesting. I think I would have, like I said in the pre-match, I would have preferred Ben White at right back, Partey in the DM, having Saliba and Gabriel in centre back. I like the Tomiyasu pick. I think the midfield, obviously Kai Havertz, Declan Rice, Martin Odegaard. Personally, I could understand starting Kai. I think especially with the way the Palace played and setting up that low block, I think Kai Havertz kind of worked quite well. But when we were on the ball, essentially Thomas Partey was in that midfield as well. Him and Declan Rice interchangeably, allowing the other one to push up with Kai and Odegaard, and the other one to sit back and prevent any counters that Palace would have. Another interesting thing I think was no Tierney in the squad. I think that's kind of it. That's the writing on the wall, and it's kind of right there. I don't see Tierney making his way back in the Arsenal team. I think Arsenal are going to look to sell him. Whether it's unfortunate or fortunate, depending on your stance on Kieran Tierney. I think it's an unfortunate thing, but yeah, I don't see him fitting in the system. Especially with now Tomiyasu starting the left back. I think that was quite clear that Tierney hasn't got a spot in the squad. The first half was a cagey. It was a cagey one. It was a tough one. We started off quite strong. We dominated the ball. We held Palace in that low block of theirs for the first 20-ish minutes. I think we had 80% possession in the first 15 minutes of the game. But the game did start opening up after both sides started getting some small chances, some good chances here and there. Most of Palace's chances were shots from like outside the box, or it was just good defending when they nullified it and quieted it down. Saliba did have that little error in the first half, sloppy on the ball, but I must say he had an absolutely outstanding recovery tackle, a perfectly timed one. It was risky, it was in the box, it was perfectly timed, and he basically made up for it instantaneously. It was a beautiful tackle. As for our opportunities in the first half, we had quite a lot, to be fair. Eddie did hit the post, unlucky shot from Eddie. That beautiful outside foot pass from Declan Rice, where he just pits it into Eddie's path, and Eddie attempted a chip, which I suppose if it worked out, everyone would have said he's a genius. But I thought instantaneously he should have just hit it hard and low, and if the keeper saves it, the keeper saves it. But I did feel towards the end of the first half we were forcing passes, getting a little bit sloppy on the ball, maybe getting frustrated. Yeah, I think it was a very tough first half. Palace were very good defensively, and they were very decent on the break as well. Now the second half started with Arsenal on fire. For the first 10 or so minutes, Saka was outstanding, dribbling past his man, beating his man, getting double teamed, and having some beautiful link-up play with Odegaard or Kai or even Declan at times. I think Saka was definitely our best player, especially in the beginning of the second half. Now, for the chance that we got, the penalty to start off was a free kick won by Bukayo. He's turning his man and he gets fouled, and very sharp, and he's on it. Eddie was on it the whole game, and he was very sharp there to make that run. Odegaard saw the pass, played it instantaneously, and Eddie did very well to try to get around the keeper, and he got fouled straight away. I was surprised to see Odegaard taking the pen. I thought maybe Bukayo or even Eddie himself taking it, but Odegaard stepped up, cool as you like, slotted it in the corner, and it was 1-0 to the Arsenal. I think we're now going to go to... I did feel that straight after we scored the goal, we were slightly flat. We allowed Palace to put pressure on us, which wasn't the most encouraging sign to see. After scoring, you want to kind of take control back of the game and maybe push for a second or third. But we did allow Palace to kind of get onto us. We were sitting in the low block for quite a decent amount of time. But we did weather that early storm, and we came out the other side unscathed. That being said, though, I think we're going to get to the Tomiyasu situation, right? The first yellow card, I know he wasn't the one time wasting. I think it was more Kai Havertz, but then I think Tomiyasu was doing it throughout the game, and it was a sloppy, unneeded yellow card to get, especially for one of your defenders. And it kind of put us in a little bit of a predicament, because the second yellow, which I'm sure everyone can agree was definitely not a second yellow, absolutely not. It was a harsh call from the ref. I don't think it was a foul at all, let alone a second yellow card. But that's Ayew. Ayew just has so much experience. He knows Tomiyasu is on a yellow card, so he just went to the ground so easily, and that was Tommy getting his marching orders. But be that as it may, after Tommy got his yellow card, we stayed compact and defended really well after it. As for the Palace's penalty claim, I just don't see it, right? Eze had some beautiful footwork that I feel actually was really defended well by both Rice and Partey, but there's no penalty. The Partey standing still, he makes contact with the ball first and then Eze after, and Partey's not really moved his leg neither. I think Eze was in a position where he even if he never got fouled, quote unquote, right? Partey never made contact with him, Eze still didn't have anywhere to go. I think it was just it was a desperate fall from Eze. I can't believe that there are still people that think it's a penalty despite seeing all the replays and things. It's just not a penalty for me. I think the ref made the right call in that instance. But after that, though, Palace were just all over us. Palace were not letting us breathe. We had to make so many. I think we had like 6 or 7 at the back. We were really grinding it out. But despite that, we did it. We came out the other side. It was an extremely brave and strong performance to make sure we got all 3 points in a tough Monday night game at Selhurst Park. Now we're going on to a home game on Saturday against Fulham. Should be a good one. But I would love to know what you guys think of the game. Who was your standout player? Were you surprised by starting 11? As always, be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.